On the turf for 10 races at Sha Tin this Saturday, with the better races spread throughout the course of the afternoon. Actually, in fact, we start off with a Class 3. We've got a Class 2 that comes up as race number 3 as well. Amanda Jern, good to have your company. I'm joined here by Paul Lally, our form analyst, and race caller Tom Wood as well. Tom, and it's a good programme as well. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, not a bad card at all. We're for a Saturday afternoon out at Sha Tin. Early race, race number 3, the Class 2 there over the 1,400 metres. A few other good races scattered throughout the course of the day. A few first starters as well. And there might be some rain again.
Certainly some coming next week, Paul. Hopefully it stays away. Jackpots, anything?
No, there's no jackpots, but it is a Saturday meeting, so we sometimes get a few weird results on that. So we'll see if we can take some jackpots out of this meeting. First starters, as we mentioned, there's a few that have bring some good form from other jurisdictions that have trialled pretty well as well.
OK, we'll take a check on those as and when we go through the programme. There's no Alexi Bedell, no Jerry Chow either. They're out through suspension. We start off with a Class 3. 8 go to post here over the 1,200 metres. Field headed by 5 elements, Frankie Law and Blake Shin. Second to Rocky Heart and second to Super Fortune, the start before. Super Fortune's had a start since, also coming out of that Rocky Heart race where he was the beaten favourite. Red Titan, first up since June last year. We've got Young Life Forever and Billionaire Secret making their Hong Kong debuts. 8 Trigrams has got speed, potentially from barrier number 4. Supreme with the blinkers going on for the first time. 2 starts for Emmy's Rose, run last on both occasions, and Forte for David Hayes and Wagner Borges. So the 8 runners, Tom, how do they line up?
We'd say Super Fortune goes forward to here. That's what he's done in most of his starts in Hong Kong. Hood goes on for the first time here. Karis Teton, Tony Cruz. Young Life Forever, he's shown a little bit of speed and he wasn't put under too much pressure in his trial, Paul. And 5 elements, he might be a bit handier, courtesy of a good draw.
Yeah, he's drawn really well, and I think he'll try and posse up behind Super Fortune. Billionaire Secret is a first starter. Supreme, he didn't show too much speed on his debut. Red Titan and Forte towards the back.
OK. We'll start off with 5 elements here in Super Fortune, who had won the start prior, Tom, but this is the last start for them with 5 elements getting his revenge of sorts, but still getting the win.
Yeah, he was on speed here as Super Fortune. He got headed near the 200 metres and tied, I thought, quite tamely in the straight, but there's nothing wrong with the run of 5 elements. A couple of his runs earlier on in the season, in the middle part of the season anyway, had been a little below par, but this was certainly much improved last start again.
Yeah, good run. He's sort of coming back to a bit of form now. Does have to carry the top weight, 133. Yeah, it wasn't a good run there from... he sort of worked a bit early, Super Fortune, and did drop out. But prior to that, he's run pretty well, and I just thought on the C course he might be able to lead, get an easy lead. OK,
well, we can have a look at Super Fortune at the trials. Keep your eye on him out towards the outside there in the green jacket, because he just knuckles a little bit, Tom, coming out of the gate.
He does. He stumbled right down there, so the jockey was lucky to stay on there. Karis Teton in the maroon cap, but once we see them come into the straight here, Paul, he's done it pretty well over the final stages.
Yeah, really nice trial. So look, on the back of this trial, I think he's going to run a good race here. It's a smallish field, and if he can dictate out in front, we know he's a big, strong horse, and he can be hard to get past at times. So, yeah, nice trial from him, and I like the way he picked himself up after that setback at the start.
He wears a hood for the first time on race day. That's Super Fortune. Tell me, Paul, about Red Titan, John Size and Zach Pert.
Yeah, so Red Titan, he's just had the 2 starts to date. They're going to put the tongue tie on him at the moment. He's got barrier number 7. He spent a bit of time up here in Chung Fa in those familiar red colours. And look, he was pushed out a little bit towards the end of this trial, but finished off nicely enough. I haven't quite got him, and I'd like to see what he can do here in Hong Kong.
He's coming back from a left 4 fetlock bone injury, which has kept him off the scene for some time. Didn't do too much in his first 2 runs, and I didn't mind the trial coming into this. I thought in a small field he might be able to be competitive here.
Well, that's California Deep Shot winning the trial. He's very smart. Indeed, a couple of first starters here, one of them being Young Life Forever. Depiction was his name when he raced in Australia. He's now trained by Casper Fowles.
Casper, Young Life Forever is a newcomer for your stable in the opening race on Saturday. Apart from what we can see on the form, what more can you tell us about him?
Look, he's settled in quite nicely, you know, into Hong Kong, and given him a nice prep leading into his first run. He's pleased me in his trials, in his jump outs, and we'd be expecting a nice first up effort.
In those trials, he showed some good speed, didn't he? Which I guess is crucial for a 1,200 metre race here on debut.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a bit of zip out the gates, and sort of when they come at him, I feel he's got a bit of fight in him. So he could be quite a handy horse for us.
And just starting at this level, obviously a mark of 64. He's a horse who showed a pretty decent level of form in Australia without getting carried away.
Yeah, correct. Lightly raced, pretty consistent. But like anything, they've got to do it in Hong Kong now. It's pretty tough. But he's certainly shown in the mornings and with his attitude that he's certainly got something to offer.
He's a half-brother to a Blue Diamond winner as well, I see, in the shape of Dormier, so he's well enough related.
Yeah, and he's a good type to go with it. So yeah, I think we'll be expecting a nice run.
And just sourcing these horses, he's ex-Godolphin, was that your job or is that left to somebody else?
This one was sourced by the clients themselves, but when I looked at his form, he looked all right, and I knew he was going to come in on the low 60s. So I said, yeah, we'll give him a go and see how he handles Hong Kong. But at this stage, things are going good. And now it's crunch time tomorrow, so hopefully he'll give us a big effort.
And just as a quick review, Casper, just looking back, obviously, how have your horses come out of their wins recently? Last week at Sha Tin, obviously, Senor Toba won, and obviously Galaxy Witness another.
Very happy. Senor Toba's in great nick. Obviously, the race is on the 22nd, so he looks really well. And the other boy's gone back to China for a few weeks, and I plan to step him up in trip and run him in a mile. I think it's the 12th of June, Class 2 mile, so we'll look at that as being his last run of the season.
There you go, some of the stable stars there. Senor Toba and Galaxy Witness, a star on the rise. The other debutant is Billionaire Secret, who was Jack Rose when racing for Ed Lynham in Ireland. 8 runners to start us off then, Paul, what do you like?
I like the trial of Super Fortune, and I know he's a free-reading front runner, so I'm going to put him on top the 2 to beat 5 Elements. He's in there for second. He should get a nice run just in behind. Young Life Forever, the first starter, we just heard from Casper there. And Forte comes in with the lightest weight, so he goes in for 4th. 2, 1, 4 and 8.
Say that again. Super Fortune on top, number 2. I think he can be tough to beat here on what we've seen of him so far. Number 2, 5 Elements. He's just got carry the top weight here of 133, up from his last assignment with 128. Young Life Forever, I think, trialled well. And Red Titan, his only win was over 1,600 metres, but I think his trials coming into this might be good enough to at least run a place here in this 1,200 metre race. 2, 1, 4 and 3.
1 and 2, that'll do me here in the opener as well. 5 Elements and Super Fortune, the freewheeling front runner. Class 3 over the 1,200 metres for the first at Sha Tin.